What's up, guys? Welcome to Bluepresents podcast. I'm your host, Blue Rivera, and today on my show, I have Nick and Andrew from the band The Mighty Fall. They're here to talk about their new singer, their new single, and their upcoming record, which seems to going to be released around the end of the summer / beginning of the fall, man. And super excited to have these guys on. Last time I had them on, it was absolutely amazing. This time having them on again, it's just as fun. And you should really check them out, The Mighty Fall. And their new single, I Am Providence. And once again, I'd like to thank everybody who keeps continuing to listen on my show. I know things have been kind of stop, start. It is what it is. Life is what it is. But I still enjoy doing this, and I greatly appreciate everyone who continues to keep listening to this show. Once again, if you'd like to be a guest on my show or you have a show idea, hit me up on Facebook at Blue Presents Podcast, Instagram at Twitter, Podcast of Blue. And before we get this episode started, the gentlemen from The Mighty Fall have blessed us with their single, I Am Providence. Give it a listen. Go check those guys out and get ready for their new record. What's up, guys? Welcome to Blue Presents a podcast where I discuss all things music, and I am joined by Andrew and Nick of the band The Mighty Fall. Hi. Welcome back, guys. It's been a while since we talked. We're here again. Brand new singer, brand new single. How's everybody doing today?
Sick. Better now. Better that we're actually doing things now. And
all right, man. You guys have already been on the show. You guys have told me your top 5, so we're just gonna jump right the fuck in it, dude. Man, the new single, I Am Providence, man. How are you guys being received? How's that going? Well, I think it's a fucking amazing song. How are you guys getting on your end about the reception to the song?
It's so good, like so good.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Like we, got a ton of really nice messages and texts from all our buds and everything. I mean, it's getting shared around in a way that's been really awesome. All our guitar player friends really like it, which is so funny because I so don't give a fuck about writing for other guitar players. So it's nice that all my guitar player friends are like, "Oh, dude, it's fucking so sick. It's so great." Like, really? Like, that's the one, huh?
Like I said, it's a fun riff to play. I mean, it's super basic, but it's fun. We have a lot of fun with playing that one. So
yeah, if it's not fun, you throw it out. That's kind of our rule in general is if it's not fun, just bin it.
Yep.
Nothing wrong with that, man. And to be honest with you, like I was telling you guys before we got started, man, it's like a mix of like a more Southern Every Time I Die that just fucking rams right into it. It's I'd have to say it's vicious from the start to the end, man. It's just a riff that just won't let up and doesn't let up on you, which I fucking enjoy. So let's talk a little bit about this new singer, man. Obviously he's not here with us today, but let's talk a little bit more. I know you guys had a departure from your original vocalist to finding this gentleman here. Let's talk a little bit more about him. How did you guys find him?
We've known him for years. And for a long time, I think we were kind of just on like opposite ends of the spectrum for a while. And then when this band started and we kind of really just like got it together and we were working hard and, we bringing people to shows and selling tickets, the whole nine, whatever. We kind of had a bit of a better work ethic, and I think it attracted him to us. And his vocal style, when we lost the last guy, when we were sitting down talking about like, all right, what kind of voice do we need? He was pretty much the guy that we had in mind, and I hit him up just like asking him for help, pretty much of like, hey, like, we're not getting anything good. Like, do you mind like, throwing a post out for us and helping us out? And he goes, no, I'll just do it.
Well, the thing that was funny about that is he was in a couple of other bands, and we kind of said from the beginning, like, Mike would be a good in our kind of little scene, and we were like, oh yeah, man, Mike would be the dude for this. I think if it was really came down to it, like, he would be the guy, but there's no way. I mean, he's
super busy.
He works in nightlife. There's no way he's gonna be way too fucking busy. And then he texts us and goes, so when am I trying out? I'm like, motherfucker, you would have just saved us like a year of agony, right? Like a heartache.
Yeah.
If you had sent us this text a fucking year ago, we would have been like, it would have spared us these like insane, just like these like, we tried out a couple of like pretty good guys that just like for whatever reason, for kind of various reasons didn't work out. But then, I'm getting these like insane messages from these like lunatics that like suck and are crazy. And it's like, oh, it was getting a little bleak at the end where like, I was getting, like, this dude blew me up for like 3 hours straight. And I'm like, oh no, this has to stop. We have to find a guy sooner. I'm going to eat a gun.
Advice for anyone listening: don't post a vocalist ad on Craigslist. Oh, that was so stupid.
Oh, all right. So since you opened the door, what were some of the responses? We might as well go there, guys.
We just got some like people that just straight up wouldn't fit. Like, obviously, we knew what this record was going to sound like, and we knew what we had in mind.
Mm-hmm.
And the four of us, me, him, and the two Zachs, like, we sat down and we knew what we wanted, and we were just getting these absolutely like left field vocalists, like death metal vocalists, and like
guys that sounded like birds.
We had like a 40-year-old woman hit us up too. Do you remember that?
Oh, I forgot about that. Read the fucking ad. Read the ad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Just read the ad. That makes me so insane. It's like and anyone who's ever like tried to sell a guitar on Craigslist, it's just this. You're just gonna live that when you're like, no trades, the first 10, you get 10 emails immediately that are just like, I want to trade you all the shit in my garage. Like, fucking read it. Just read it. That makes me insane when people do that.
Yeah. So she clearly didn't read the ad. And we were like very vivid in what we were looking for too. And it just didn't matter.
Very specific.
She just saw vocalist wanted and was like, son of a bitch.
You mean this isn't like this isn't a 70s rock cover band? Like,
Oh
in
my
what
God.
fucking universe? If you read
Seven
the
rocks.
ad, when? How and why and when?
So anyway, so that's pretty much the like I said, very left field and like
It was my Vietnam. Finding
that was brutal.
Whoa.
getting through this like singer hunt. But we were writing and working the whole time. I mean, we finished writing the record without a singer. We're like halfway through writing another one before we even got Mike.
Yeah.
So like
We just kind of kept trucking.
You know, but it was getting a little like, I'd go home and look at my inbox and just be like this is fucking dire, dude. And I text him later and just be like, we have to figure this out or I'm going to have a nervous breakdown. I can't keep getting these kinds of texts and emails from people.
Oh man, and it's crazy to me because, you know, like you said before, you know, clearly people not reading the ad, they're just seeing vocalist wanted and responding with probably some of the most left-handed shit. Did you guys send any music to anybody who tried to record anything or anything like that to try to see?
Yeah, we had a couple.
Yeah.
I don't know if we actually got any back though. I know a couple of like buddies of ours that wanted to try out. We sent things out to, and one of them we had try out. But I think that was the only like recorded type of response we got. But we did send a little bit out there. Mm-hmm. And the toughest thing about it too is like, you know how the last record sounded. So it's like, Look the Part was so dramatically different. So like people were getting that vibe and saying like, oh, okay, I can do this. And then they would like try and do that or something similar to that. And it's like,
no,
it's like surprise.
Nope.
Like, this isn't what we're doing. Like, this isn't what we're doing anymore. So that kind of made it a lot harder too, was having such a dramatic shift in like our writing and doing things the way we are now. And that made it so much harder.
So with that being said, man, I Am Province, man, like I said, definitely different from what you guys have put out before. Why was I Am Province the single you needed to put out? Was that the one
because
you felt? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, go on. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just asking, do you guys feel like it was the best representation of what you guys were stepping into?
Yes and no, because stylistically speaking, I think it's like the most accessible like song on the record. I just said this to somebody else. It's like you either stay tough and you like double down on being tough, or your drummer buys a cowbell. And it's like that's what happened. That's the career, like the arc of being a hardcore band is you either like it's three things. It's either you get tougher, there's face tattoos and tough, and you get tough, or your drummer buys the cowbell, or you pull an Under Oath and you get really into synthesizers.
Or just have members that aren't in Under Oath.
Yeah. So it's one of three. That's your fork in the road is that. And our drummer.
We bought a cowbell.
Yeah, our drummer got a cowbell. So, but you know what though? It's like it's the most accessible song on the record, I think, in general, because there's like it really like runs the gamut. And we said there's a record, so we could talk about the record. It's like it really like runs the gamut in a lot of ways, where there's like all of our influences are really on display, but not in the thing that I think I like Look the Part. I like Look the Part. I'm very proud of all the work that went into Look the Part, in general. But one of the things that I think if I could go look back and criticize it is it really does sound like those 4 tracks are 4 different bands.
Oh, totally.
It's diverse, but almost in a detriment to itself.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this is a diverse record. That's how you say diverse. Diverse. Yeah. Fucking Christ. We walk down. Yeah. Words are hard. Let me walk that one back. It is a varied record, but the whole thing sounds like us, which is so awesome. That's the thing. It really runs the gamut of like, there's crust and blast beats, and there's like a doom metal influence that pokes its head in. There's like, I'm really into sludge and that kind of stuff. So there's like kind of that like Mastodon-y, a little bit of that like thing going on, but there's extreme, irresponsible tempos still. And so it's a little bit of it. It is a little bit of everything. And usually when you say I cringe so fucking hard when bands are just like, oh yeah, there's something for everybody. The heavy parts are heavy and the melodic parts are melodic. And it's always such a shithead thing to do. It's such a PR thing to say, because it usually means that instead of that, you're just trying to hit like the most like middle of the road, like unchallenging shit.
That's how we got the new Day to Remember record.
Oh,
well, there's another phrase that I hate when people say a new era, or this is the best material we've put out so far, which usually means
coming.
Yeah, it's always
yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
Or when people are there, it usually when they say that, you're either about to rip off Bring Me the Horizon, or you're about to sound like Linkin Park, which a band just recently did that.
Bring Me the Horizon did that.
Yeah, or it's or the kind of like the new metal kind of resurgence that's like happening in hardcore and stuff, where it's just like everybody's doing like the Korn thing now, which is again, I don't mean to sound like I'm shitting on everybody.
No, Korn's awesome. I don't care what anybody says. Korn, like, listen, Korn is awesome doing Korn, but not other bands doing Korn.
Korn does Korn perfectly fine. We listen to all different kinds of stuff, and
for sure.
If you look at any of our Spotify histories, it'll show that. But like, what I think is so cool about this record in general is that it's a little bit of everything, but it is skewing hard when it goes that way. So it's like, okay, there's like crust and DB, and there's doom metal, and there's like full on 10-pound dick southern rock songs, and like it's every shot off is fully committed, which I think is so cool.
It's not just like a single riff of this type of style here, and then the rest of the song is like a staple song.
It all sounds like us, which is so cool. It's very cohesive in a way that I think is fun.
Yeah, the record is very cohesive, but also very sporadic.
But I guess to answer the fucking question is it just, we were tracking on all the songs, and it just, that one whipped so much ass that it wasn't even the first choice. It wasn't even the first choice. We had a whole different plan. And then we were going back and listening to everything, and I was like starting to kind of comp tracks together and do the mix and everything. I think we had that conversation where we're just like, we were just sitting in my basement going, this is the single.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
We fell in love with the way it sounded, and Mike came in and completely killed it. And when I heard him do it, I was like, shit, we got to drop this now.
Yeah, that's awesome. Once again, I'm assuming you guys recorded this last time we talked. You guys were kind of, being hands-on with your own project. How did that help with this project here? Like you said, you guys feel like you guys got a representation of what it is you guys are now. How did that translate in just trying to put things together? Obviously, you guys had this shit together before Mike joined in the picture. So let's talk about going from, you have these songs, now you got Mike. Do you feel like Mike is bringing out what you guys envisioned for those songs?
Oh, totally.
He's the voice. He's the guy. I've had so many moments of like where we're working on stuff or tracking, and I've just had that moment a bunch of times of just like, he's ill. He's heard it happen where Mike will do a part and I'll go, yeah, okay, dude. Like, this is the voice that it was supposed to be from the fucking get-go.
Yeah, I think
it is just so good.
We had such a different, we talked about this last time, so I won't go too far into it. But like, the last record was primarily written by me before this band even existed. So it was written for my prior band that this one molded from. So having that, and having this one where like you can really hear everyone's influences, like we knew what we had going, and Mike just came in and he solidified exactly what we needed him to, whether it be just a simple lyric change if something doesn't work for him, or if it's just the way that he envisioned a part. Like, he really does know the craft on not only his own vocals, but just like kind of what we were going for without even telling him. He kind of knew what we wanted. So he's crushing it.
And to his credit too, like, there's a lot of fucking lyrics on all these songs too. So he's I sympathize with him, because for Look the Part, the guy playing catch up was definitely me. As a non-original member, kind of coming in and being like learning a bunch of songs that were already mostly done. Not a ton changed on those songs, other than like it was mostly small things. I think.
Yeah, a couple of like lead licks.
Yeah, it was like parts. It was like
layers,
a handful of things. this is so like kind of fiercely collaborative, right? Where we go to bat for not only our ideas, but each other's ideas too. We try everything. That kind of became the philosophy of working on stuff.
Try everything once.
The part was, we'll try everything at least once. If you have to force it, it probably is not, people who are listening to it are going to know that it's not, you're not really putting your whole back into it.
And Mike has put his back into everything. His back is probably killing him right about now.
There's nothing wrong with that, man. And like I said, I think I Am Province is really a fucking tight record, man. Once again, I'll bring that word up I brought up the last time you guys were on. Raw fucking energy, brothers.
Yes.
For real. Raw fucking energy.
Yes.
And that's awesome. So, we've talked about Mike. We've talked about this. Let's talk a little bit more about what people can expect on this upcoming record. Do you guys have a number of songs? Anything you guys are excited about, song-wise, material-wise, that you guys are about to put out?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 12 total, including a couple,
some sound design and some bullshit, because I like the long form. There's a little bit of that long form album thing, which is like, I know we're kind of like fighting the streaming economy by doing that. I think fuck them. People want singles, they want EPs. I know we're doing as we're doing a record, it's like you're fighting against people's attention spans, and we'll probably do more like standalone singles and EPs in the future, but like
we need to hit hard with this.
There's
too many songs that we were in love with that we're just going to do a whole record. And the other thing too is it's kind of like a fight the power thing, but at the same time, it's like nobody else is doing full records right now. It's like so rare because of the streaming economy. It's so rare that people do full length albums now, aside from like obviously major bands. So, we were like, screw it, let's do something different and hit everything we can.
We're also at the advantage of doing things at home too. So the overhead is nice and low. The worst of it is usually like I'm buying a lot of amps, which I don't make that anyone else's problem.
No.
Unless he finds a good one and then I like it, and then that's my problem.
Yeah. Which is, so much of that less is going to happen now. Thank God we both quit our shitty guitar store jobs. So, there's going to be a little bit less of that because I'm not going to be looking at things I want to spend money on all day long.
Yeah.
But I think, again, kind of back to the original point, I think with this record coming out, like it really does kind of have something for everybody. Like we said, and we're proud of the way that we did things. All of our influences, whether it be, more of his like riffy, sludgy side of things, or my more melodic side. Zach, bass player Zach, has more of a thrash end to him. I don't know what Caruso is. Caruso's kind of all over the board.
Yeah, he is.
So, it really does show a little bit of everything, and having the response that we got from I Am Providence alone definitely kind of reinforced, like, okay, we got something cool. Mm-hmm. Like we made the right move, and the record's gonna do pretty good. We hope.
And it says a lot that we're saying something for everyone, because normally it's like that would be
that's the killer.
That's always whenever I read other bands talking about that kind of shit, it's like, okay, get ready for the most milquetoast shit you've ever heard. We will be doing nothing to challenge you.
Exactly. It reminds me of I don't know if you guys remember when the Casey Strain signed to Rise Records, and Vince made this video where he talked about how he was like, I'm not doing vocals on the record, everything's auto-tuned. I'm just nothing but cleans. I'm not doing screaming anymore. It was hilarious. It just I think some artists, when you're in this, like you said, there's the advantage of you guys are able to kind of create in your own safe space and do your own thing. But there's also, sometimes us as artists, we're so close to our material that when we hear like sometimes criticism about certain things, we may not take it the right way, or we may be like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just somebody else who's viewing from another point. Have you guys felt like you've gotten any criticism with I Am Providence or anything like that?
I particularly haven't. I mean, I'm sure it's out there.
I think I got some mixed notes from like producer friends. Like,
but that's fine.
That's about it.
As far as actual like writing or like song criticism, not really. But we look back at the last record, and we listened to we've like done multiple times where we've like listened to a song or two on the last one and then a song or two from this one. And we're just so happy with it, and we're so happy with the way that this band transformed and people's general response to us as a band, whether it be just they like us live or they like us as people and they hate the band, or they hate us as people and love the band. It doesn't really matter. We've just been so happy with this material that like we'll take any criticism with an open mind, but we don't really care.
Frankly, yeah. If you don't like it, I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
For everyone that says they don't like it, there's 10 people who do. I'm
in my favorite band, so really, like, if it's obviously constructive criticism, it's like, okay, well, maybe this or this could have been something different. Always gonna listen to that. But if you're just like, yes, I like it, like, all right, fuck it. Like that's all right, we'll try the next one. All right. Because we go through such an iterative process, and we are so like, if it doesn't work, chuck it. Every single part has to be like some other band's like, this is the money shot of the whole record is this riff or this vocal line or whatever. Our philosophy, and I'm not saying that we are necessarily successful in this because that might sound a little arrogant, but like what we strive to do is to have every single part, every lyric should be something I would want to get tattooed across my forehead. Every riff would make me, if I was watching my band from the crowd and I didn't know us, that would be like, my old ass is coming out of mosh retirement right now. Someone's getting a concussion.
The biggest thing is we just strive for quality, but we strive for something that we love the most. That's the biggest thing. We want to love it the most. We don't, like again, we'll take any criticism we get, but we don't care. We are in love with anything that we release, and everyone that wants to join the hype train, that's fine. But
be your own biggest critic, but also your own biggest fan.
Yeah,
so that's
there it is.
But not in a delusional, we don't listen to anybody else type of way, but also kind of a little.
Yeah, I hear that sometimes because I feel like there's certain artists who are like, oh well, I don't even listen to metal anymore. I listen to XYZ to not be influenced. But I think at every point we were all influenced by something at one point, and I've heard this before. Rapper J. Cole said one time that he used to imitate like Eminem and a bunch of other rappers until he got his own unique flow based off of what he was doing with that. Do you guys feel like you've come up with your own unique flow of what you guys are doing when it comes to that general sense? Because it sounds like you guys are confident in your material, which is fucking awesome, because in this day and age, especially the social media age, there's so much scrutiny, so many things that people are like, oh, well, I don't like this because it sounds like, whatever the case is, and not realizing that maybe it's not for you, it's for anybody else who really enjoys that style of music. And I'll give you a perfect example. The new Drake album, everyone is shitting on it, but not realizing that it's not for us rap heads, it's for those Coachella type people. You know what I'm saying? It's
that
not.
Guy's got to get his paycheck.
Exactly. This is for
understandable, I guess.
This is for the brunch ladies, who are drinking mimosas. They don't care. They want Drake, but they want a less street Drake. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But yeah, I think we definitely have conversations where we're like, wow, we just ripped that right off, didn't we? Yep. We sure did. And we don't obviously do it to a point where it's like a crime.
Oh yeah, I just had to throw a riff out because I was all excited.
Oh, the fuck, they used one.
Well, I wrote something like a month ago that I was all excited about, and I just literally this morning when I was just flipping through YouTube and I was watching like Hellfest footage, I went and I was going to text you about it. I went, oh my God, no, I have to throw out this like cool two-step part that I liked because I totally just stole a Comeback Kid song.
Yeah, like what?
Whoopsie.
I remember when we were working together. He was like super proud of this one lead lick that he had wrote.
The banjo lick.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we called it like the banjo lick, and I listened to it, and I was like, "That's literally I Caught Fire" by the Used.
Really close.
That's exactly what it was. It was the intro to I Caught Fire. It was like very similar. So unfortunately, that got scrapped.
Mm-hmm.
But you can definitely hear our influences, Again, on whatever spectrum they might be for that track, you can definitely hear the influences. But you can more importantly hear the collaborative effort of the 4 and now 5 of us.
The cohesion of is
Yeah.
important because of course you can, everybody's gonna ape their heroes just a little bit, but that's the thing is you can hear the any band you fucking listen to, you can kind of hear the DNA if you are the kind of person who's listening to that for that kind of thing.
Yep.
But I think we've kind of carved out our little thing that we do.
Yeah. We could take those influences and meld them because, like we said, we're, especially me and him, we're on such complete opposite sides of the spectrum that for us to meld Every Time I Die and Crowbar and Down to Avenged and Atreyu and Green Day, those aren't easy things to mix, but we found our way to do it.
Well, that's part of what I think makes this band so fun and cool is we'd probably suck if we were the same type of dude. It wouldn't be as good. It wouldn't be as varied or interesting, I think, in my opinion, because especially too when you approach a part in a way that's different than what you would normally write, or if you're writing we kind of do it to each other, where it's we'll write a part our interpretation, my interpretation of an Andrew part, or vice versa. It makes you kind of come at things differently because we have such different kind of rhythmic and melodic sensibilities as players. It makes you think about stuff differently. When I try to bring things to the table, where I'm usually something that'll make me throw things out before I even bring it to the guys is I feel like Andrew's not going to dig this. Although every once in a while you do surprise me because I wrote a whole song for the next record that I thought he was going to hate. and
I went down, I was like, hang on. I manipulated the drum track a little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, it's good.
Really? Yeah. You sure? You don't want to really, the guitars are fine? I'm yeah, that's good. It's cool.
So here's
okay.
So here's my favorite thing. And when the record comes out, I actually want you to be a part of this too. I want you to let us know. My favorite thing to do is to show things to people and say, okay, did I write this or did Nick write this? And the funny thing is, 9 times out of 10, if you think it was him, it was me, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
The main riff that I Am Providence, I think, was you.
It was him.
But the chorus was me. And I think the ending breakdown might have been me too.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I'm trying to remember now because we wrote it in 2 days in the basement. But yeah, so any riff that you think the other one wrote, you're probably wrong. So when the record comes out, I love to see how you interpret it, just because it's fun.
Okay. No, I mean, and like I said, man, I definitely loved your first record. I'm very excited for this next one. I Am Province, like I said, I think it was a great single to lead off with, man. And there's so many good things about it, from what you guys did to what Mike did. So, because I'm just doing my journalistic duty. Do we have a release date in mind? Do we have a time period in which you guys feel like this next record is going to be released?
Late summer, early fall is the plan, I think, right now, because we're literally we're putting a bow on this motherfucker right now, man. It's almost done. Couple tracks left to track vocals on, and then I got to spend a couple of days comping some stuff together and doing it's just little bits and bobs. We're putting a bow on it right now. So
I think I'd say maybe
September.
Maybe late September. I think is probably the goal. It's definitely soon.
Yeah.
I'd say beginning of fourth quarter. I think is going to
probably dump one more song out before then.
Yeah,
nothing wrong.
Yeah, we'll do one more teaser track and then drop it. I think. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, gentlemen, thank you for your time today, man. I greatly appreciate you guys coming on, man. It's always fucking great to have you guys on, Nick and Andrew from the Mighty Fall, man. And check those guys out. Brand new single, I Am Province, brand new singer. Say what up to Mike from me and stuff like that, man. And definitely can't wait for this next record to drop, guys. Thank you once again, gentlemen.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for having us. We'll come up to your neck of the woods soon.
Great to see
you.
Let
me know, man. Let me know if you guys are playing a show or whatever, man. I would definitely love to come see you guys play again. All right.
You'll be one of the first to know.
Hell yeah, brothers. Let me get this damn